The film begins with a man named Steven, also known as Yusef, recording a video, and it turns out that he is a former soldier in the American forces. On Tuesday, the FBI team is examining the data collected on the suspects. Agent Helen Brody tells them that the flight school has informed them that there is a person with an Arabic name who wants to take flying lessons. An agent tells Brody that the CIA found something interesting, and he told her about a man named Henry. It is discovered that his wife is involved in questionable activities. At Henry's home, he and his wife were very careful and installed security cameras all over the house. The media reported that Yusef shot a police officer and kidnapped 2 children. Brody states that she recognized Yusef and he is listed as a suspect. She asks for his profile, and it turns out that he is not extremist and was a volunteer in the U.S. Army, but his military profile is confidential. Meanwhile, Brody's boss, Jack, arrives, who has ordered all suspects to be brought in, and expresses his need for all clients on Yusef's case. Brody wonders what's going on and tells him they don't have enough staff. He provided her with all the manpower she needed, and he did not reveal any other details. FBI agents arrive at Henry's house, so he calls an acquaintance in the intelligence office named Charles. He tells him agents are at his door and he's getting a gun ready. Charles calls Brody immediately, telling her to withdraw the clients. Henry's CIA file is accidentally leaked to the FBI as a dangerous gunman. They try to contact the 2 agents, but there is no response. Brody sends a team to investigate and they cautiously approach the house. Henry tries to resolve the situation peacefully. After seeing an FBI badge, it is revealed that Henry and his wife have caught the 2 former agents and tied them up, so they take Henry in for questioning. Henry acts arrogant and calls them stupid because they have no idea what they are doing. When asked for his real name, he said they could call him H. Charles and Jack enter the room and stop the interrogation. It turns out that H is under protection and the FBI messed it up. Jack asks Brody to help them with an undercover mission, and she agrees. On Wednesday, FBI agents are called to an abandoned facility that has been turned into a site under military command. General Paulson receives them, and they're Charles and H. Jack shows Yusef's videotape, in which he threatens to carry out 3 nuclear explosions in different American cities if his demands are not met, and the bombs are scheduled to explode after 2 days. Paulson says Yusef has worked as a nuclear specialist in Iraq, which is a real threat to them, but he hasn't revealed his demands yet. In the end, they revealed that they had held Yusef for 24 hours. Paulson explained that he was arrested in a shopping mall and they suspected that he wanted to be arrested. He is tortured in different ways, yet H, a private investigator, believes that this is of no use. He beat the one who tortured Yusef, so the soldiers removed him from the room and detained him. Brody plays the good cop and stops the torture. She asked him to give her information to act on, but he said it was too early and Paulson took her out. She confronts Jack that whatever is happening is illegal and possibly ineffective, and he says they have been ordered to help the army and must follow them. She then asks H why he acted that way. He says military tactics won't work for Yusef, because he's a former soldier trained to withstand this kind of interrogation. Charles and Paulson come and ask H to help them with the interrogation. He agrees, but says he prefers to work alone with a partner of his choosing. Paulson disagrees, but the commanding officer comes and demands that H be given what he desires. He demands all the staff leave and tells Charles to call his wife to tell her he's okay. He begins to deal with Yusef and asks him about the location of the 3 bombs, and when Yusef does not answer, he starts torturing him. The military and Brody try to put an end to what's going on, but the officer in charge says it takes action. Unable to bear the torture, Brody leaves the room and tries to talk again with Jack, but he assures that if the bombs go off, there will be disaster in America. She goes to the bathroom and H comes. She takes the opportunity to express her dissatisfaction with his methods, saying that physical pain does no good. Brody enters and tries to calm Yusef down. She tells him that his wife and children will also be tortured. He says they have 2 days to agree to his demands, which he will announce tomorrow. H returns to torture him even at night to prevent him from sleeping. On Thursday, H begins to use electric shocks. His wife arrives at the facility at his request, and he orders Brody to keep an eye on Yusef. When Yusef sleeps, they operate an electric shock device, but the device fails and does not stop. In the end, they manage to stop the device just in time. Meanwhile, H was enjoying himself with his children and wife. He assures Brody that he caused the device to malfunction to give Yusef false hope. Meanwhile, the FBI continues its investigation into the place where the bombs may have been placed. They were trying to find Yusef's family. They suspect that one of the bombs is in Los Angeles. It turns out that Yusef's neck was broken. H asks Brody to massage his neck, while he plays soothing music and tells him a story about his wife and children. And when he asked Yusef about his children, he collapsed. He takes that as a sign to continue his torture. Yusef begs him to stop and shouts that he will speak. In those moments, Yusef begins to state his demands, as he wants the President of the United States to announce the end of support for puppet governments and dictatorships in Islamic countries and the withdrawal of American forces from all Islamic countries. The group rejects Yusef's demands, asserting that U.S. policy is to never negotiate with terrorists, but H says they should take the deal because it's just an advertisement and they don't have to follow through since they have less than 24 hours before the bombing. The officer in charge tells H to continue with his methods. Brody tries to convince Yusef to tell her where the bombs are, but he declares that he won't give up anything until his terms are met. H continues to torture him. The FBI obtained surveillance footage from the mall, where it was found that Yusef stood there for 23 minutes waiting to be arrested, knowing that he would be subjected to torture. Paulson argues that this could be a hoax and there may not be real bombs. Brody goes to Yusef and says he faked the bombings to make a statement about the U.S. He finally breaks down and admits that he did not plant any bombs, nor did he have nuclear material. And to prove it, he gives Brody a letter. A team of troops is sent to explore the places. Brody believes that this is Yusef's hoax, as he said earlier that something will happen today. They found a room that matches where the video was recorded, and they found evidence on the roof. One of the soldiers removes Yusef's photo and reveals a switch, causing a huge explosion in a nearby mall visible from the building Brody and the soldiers are in. She returns angry to Yusef over the lives lost and threatens him to find out the location of the other bombs. He justifies killing people in the mall by saying that Americans kill people every day and adds that he is not a coward and that he allowed them to capture him so that he could face his oppressors face to face. On Friday, information comes out that Yusef got a parking ticket in Dallas. The address is traced to a warehouse, where they found a bomb. It turns out to be a real bomb that will explode after 30 hours, and it is almost impossible to find the remaining 2 bombs in time. They continue to torture Yusef, but H appears defeated. He returns to the room and removes the blindfold from Yusef's eyes, so he smiles and winks at him. Meanwhile, the FBI found Yusef's wife. She cried that she would not utter a word until she could see her children. Brody threatens her with imprisonment if she does not cooperate with them. H suggests using his wife against him. H threatens him to hurt his wife in front of him, but Brody stops him and orders the soldiers to take the woman out, and because of that she killed in front of him. They tell H that government officials and their families are being evacuated from every city to nuclear shelters. Time was running out and he had to finish what he started. He comes to Yusef and tells him that he will die inevitably and that he is authorized to do anything to get information from him. Brody asks him to do what he can because time is running out. At that moment H orders the soldiers to bring Yusef's children. Brody says if he does any harm to the children she will fight to get him punished. The children are brought in and H threatens Yusef. He tells him that he will harm them if he does not reveal to them the location of the bombs. Finally Yusef gave in and gave them the 3 addresses, and the bombs were distributed, one in New York, the second in Los Angeles, and the third in Dallas. Yet H does not stop at what he is doing. He asks him if there is a 4th bomb, and he denies it. H indicates the amount of nuclear material that Yusef is likely to have, and there may be a 4th bomb. So he asks the official to bring the children back for further interrogation. When Brody refused, H mockingly untied Yusef, but the official pulled his gun and pointed it at H to force him to do what was required of him. Yusef grabs the official's gun, tells Brody to take care of his children, and kills himself. Brody exits the building with Yusef's children. The FBI finds the location of the 3 bombs and manages to defuse the bombs in time, but unfortunately H is right. A 4th bomb is found and Brody's feelings cost them millions of lives. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for a never-ending stream of movie magic. I will see you in the next one.